Can you hear me, Josh?
Hello and welcome everyone to tonight's race. It is the Friday Night League Formula 2 Championship Round 9 and we're getting underway at Suzuka. Not long to go, the lobby's being set up and we're just waiting. As you can see, we are at Suzuka International Racing Course, or Circuit as they call it. We were there last weekend in the real Formula 1 and our thoughts are with all those who were affected by the Typhoon Hagbus. But we have some racing to do tonight, and they've got 18 turns to navigate over a 5.8 kilometre course. The track difficulty here, according to F1, is medium, and a lap record in 2005 was set by Kimi Räikkönen at 1 minute 31.540. We're probably going to see those things smashed tonight, as we saw it smashed on the weekend in Formula 1. In saying that, we're doing Formula 2, so probably not. But don't forget, we got the two race set up tonight, including race 1 and race 2, the sprint and the feature race. Feature race, they will have a mandatory pit stop. Sprint race will have a reverse grid, start from what we had from the top 8 in the first race, and they race flag to flag to the end with no stoppages all the way, and we'll have a winner at the end. At the moment it is BP who's leading the championship table, but it's all to play for still for the rest of the positions, as most of the drivers are only separated by a few points here and there, so anything can happen. And we can't wait to see what unfolds tonight in the championship. I will be joined by Zen. I don't know if Zen's listening at the moment. I've not got my headphones off, but we're about 5 minutes away, and can't wait to have you along. Sit back, relax, enjoy this one. We're going to unpack this one for you. It's going to be guaranteed action-packed, and there's a hint of maybe the safety car being more trigger happy these days after a patch, so we'll keep an eye out on that. There was some word going around on some forums here and there that the safety car is easier to trigger now. If something happens tonight, we'll find out. So sit back, relax, enjoy it. My name's Josh from Demo 1. Can't wait to race. We'll be right back. Hello, Major Dan. Good to have you along, bro. I'm good. How are you? Prince of Underground, good to see you again as well, buddy. How are you guys going tonight? There might be a second stream somewhere for this. I tried it. There's a live control room that YouTube have set up, which I wanted to use, but it didn't work when I hit stream, so I'll have to figure that one out later on. Oh, in a philosophy class. Well, I've never done philosophy. It's always sounded interesting to me. Zen is here. How you going, Zen? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hey. Yeah. Suzuka, bro.
I'm just chilling. Getting ready for some action.
Yeah, me too. We had a big electrical storm here earlier. It's past now, though.
Always good that it's passed.
Yeah, definitely. Who do you think is the favourite early on?
Current form, you would have to say BP.
Yeah, BP.
Pretty hard to bet against him.
He's got like 200 odd points in the championship.
Yeah, I think the way the scoring system works in the F2, there is big chunks of points on offer, especially when you clean sweep it with the pole and fastest laps. But at the same time, if you DNF or fail to finish for whatever reason or out of the points, you can also lose a big chunk of points. So, never rule the other guys out quite yet, but BP's definitely in a commanding position.
Yeah, he's going to need a pretty bad run of races to lose it from here, but like you said, anything can happen.
Suzuka's a real driver circuit, even though some of the gravel has now unfortunately been removed with the tarmac runoff strip. It still has grass runoff in certain areas, or limited tarmac runoff. So it's one of those tracks that can really hurt you if you miss time, go wide, make an error. You know, in certain corners, especially the Dengas, the also Spoon, and the S's. This is a track where if you don't get it right every time, you could end up in the gravel trap, and that will really put you back.
Where do you think, because we have one shot qualifying, where do you think the most of the time is gained on track? Like, you need to get right. Is it those first S's? Is it the spoon curve?
Yeah, it is. The first sector is very critical, but it's actually the entry into turn one. Now, I'm coming from a F1 point of view. I haven't really turned many laps at all in the F2s, let alone on this track. But in the F1s, turn one, you have to be 100% committed, and you don't brake for turn one until you're through it. And then you have to peel the speed off for turn two. So it's a very aggressive set of corners, and you might think you're doing it quick, but you're actually doing it quite conservative, and you can lose a lot of time just in those two. The S's are also, you have to be Mickey Mouse, but there's only really one way through there. So once you got the line, you just have to hold speed and not take too much curb on the apex. So sector one, there's a lot of room for there, but I also found that the hairpin in sector 2, getting the drive out of there is worth a lot of time. Literally, by the time you get to Spoon, you could be 0.2 of a second up if you get the correct drive out of the hairpin. Then there's not that much, obviously, in 130R, and the exit of Spoon is quite critical in that sense. But the chicane at the end, the famous area where Senna and Prost had their touch, that can be another place. The exit out of there can be another place that can gain you some time. So they're the three probably most significant parts of the track where time can be made.
Right, well, thank you for that. That was a good rundown of everything. The qualifying has just begun. Some of the guys are keen for a wet one. It doesn't look like it's going to be wet. But Suzuka, anything can happen.
In the blink of an eye, too.
Exactly. Oh, Bots is out, so Bots has had an issue somewhere. BP's leading the charge right now, as he's got the top spot as we come through the first S's. This uphill section is, you got to get on the power early here. You can get a lot of time through, you were saying, up to the Degnas now.
Very fast set of corners, these, especially the first Degna. Very fast.
Yeah, there's an image going around on the internet with I think it was Hamilton.
Leclerc.
Well, I think I haven't seen that one, but I saw one of Hamilton hitting the Degna curves, and he's got 3 wheels hitting the tarmac, his front right, getting airborne.
I saw the Leclerc photo, and it was intense from rear shot, taking the first Degna.
I'll have to look out for that one. Now let's get some of the telemetry up. There you go. Mike is in the second sector right now, coming up to 130R. He's there in second. On the soft tyres, BP there just ahead of him, and Lukey in third. This is going to be an interesting 3-way battle as we come towards the end of this lap now. Through 130R, BP still holding the lead into the triangle. It's Mikey and Lukey and BP still fighting for it. They're not separated by much at all. The line is quickly coming up, and it's going to be BP on top with a 141.552, and that's why he's leading the championship. And Mike
really blinder there.
And it's good to see Mike's up close to the top, because we had a good rivalry between him and some of the top runners last time we streamed. So there you go. We've only got 10 guys tonight. Is Daylight Savings?
I don't know if it is sort of putting a few guys out of sync with their work schedules. Maybe it is a possibility, but yeah, we didn't have great numbers in the last round at Austria either.
It's a shame. Hopefully we get them back for Monaco and a few other rounds coming up. I think we haven't got long left, actually.
No, there's not that many rounds to go, no.
All right. Well, welcome along, everyone. Zen is with me in the commentary booth tonight. We're going to bring you the both races here, the feature and the sprint race. There's your qualifying for the first one. BP on top, Mike and Epic and Luke, your top four. And yeah, BP obviously the early favourite, but never discount Hawks. He can come back from anywhere. He's a quick driver in the F2s.
Yeah, he's always good for a podium at the very least, isn't he?
Oh,
no matter where he starts.
No, it doesn't matter. He'll find it and do it. It's great. It's great to watch. Now, I'll quickly go over the Drivers' Championship for those at home before we get the race underway. And there it is on your screen. There's your points right now. BP on top, 230 points. You can see he's quite a ways ahead of the rest of them. But like Zen was saying, lots of points on offer, so things could change very quickly. Epic there in second, Hawks, and that is Bots. And you can see they're not separated by a lot, 3 to 2 points here and there, even one. So, yeah, it's all to play for, and BP definitely hasn't won it yet. And then next round, we're off to Silverstone, then Monaco and USA. So, yeah, we're almost done with the first season. It's been very exciting. And, yeah, I can't wait to see how this one concludes.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting coming into the end there. BP looks like he's sort of run away with it, but like we said, the points can be won and lost pretty quickly. Consistency will come into it. And we're into the formation lap, I assume.
We are, yes. Formation lap is underway.
But it's definitely going to be very tight there with Epic, Hawks and Bots on the points table there. Little Black has had issues with his internet, so that's the reason why he hasn't been racing for a while. We're hoping that he gets that sorted ASAP because he's another very, very fast contender as well. But as it stands, even if BP has sort of run away with it, it's really tight for that second and third and fourth spot there.
Oh yeah, very tight. It was Stuff will win it. Now, yeah, this is just the formation lap, so get things all warmed up, get it all ready, get your brakes primed, because we'll have a start very shortly. It's not going to be long before we get the first race, the feature race. Remember, there is a mandatory pit stop, so we should have a look at the tyres that some of them selected. I think most of them were on the softs.
I think they're on the. I think that's on the yellow, the mediums.
No, I was wrong. Mediums. Most of them chose the mediums. Epic's on the softs, and Uncle and Saints are the only other two. So there's 3 on the softs, the rest on mediums. So that's the favoured strategy for the Formula 2 here, 15 laps. And then immediately after we'll have the sprint race, race number 2, with the reverse grid for the first 8, which mixes things up a little. You're in favour of a reverse grid like set up in the F1, aren't you?
I'm in favour of giving it a go to see, what actually would happen. I'm excited to see what would happen, and then I think when I see it happen, I will pass my ultimate judgment on it. As I see it, the biggest hurdle is the teams. I actually thought the teams would put more of a whinge up than the drivers because of, things can break, cars can get, destroyed in those races, and then the repairing to get it ready for the main race where the bulk of the points will be. But look, I'm keen to check it out, see how it pans out, and if it doesn't work, so be it. You are right. The qualifying format for Formula 1 is near on perfect. So it would take a tall order to replace that.
Yeah, that's for those playing at home. That's my argument. It's always been my argument. But I'd like to see it. I just sometimes sit here and go, it's not really broken. But it's a funny one. It is a tough one. I agree. Anyway, we're about to go 5 lights out here at the circuit. It's not going to be long before we have them fighting for positions. BP on the top row with Mike. Epic and Lukey share the second row. 5 lights are on. It's 5 lights out and racing here at Suzuka. I think Saints is stuck on the grid. Not sure what's happening there.
Almost.
And it's now Mike, BP and Epic. So Mike has pushed his way forward early on. Epic's falling back through the order and Mike is quickly dominating this race as we come through. Hawks and Crazy Kiwi side by side through turn 1 up to the S's now. A lot of the drivers' favourite corners of any circuit. And it's still Mike out in front of BP and Lukey and Kiwi. And there's Uncle John just getting up ahead of Bot. So Bot's in trouble early on the mediums. But relatively clean from the field early on. And that is really good to see. But there's rumours, like I said, of the safety car possibly being easier to trigger now. So if something happens, we'll have to wait and see. But it is still Mike, BP, Lukey and Epic. A few of the drivers there losing out a lot of positions early on. As you can see, there it is on the screen. BP down, Epic's down, Kiwi's down, and Denos and Saints also down.
Interestingly, Epic is on the soft tyre and he lost the place there to Luke. That's going to compromise the strategy that he's on. He really wants to get up to speed on that soft and try and, close the gap up to BP and Mike most definitely. But Mike, perler of a start.
Oh, it was perfect. Couldn't fault that. And he's now leading by 4/10 over BP. And BP tends to run high downforce setup, so I don't know if that's compromised his start or something here, but I don't know if it's going to work as well here at Suzuka.
He's got a great toe now, going through 130R. Takes a lot of curb there.
Yeah, they did. They were very liberal with the curb hopping there. Up to the triangle, Mike still leading. Lukey catching back up as well. Epic's on scene, and it's not going to be long before Hawks and Kiwi get there. Bots back up 3 positions though from the start, and that was a good first lap from the drivers out there. But it's still Mike and BP tussling it out. Look at this. He's got he's not DRS. He's got the slipstream. That's super effective. And I think Mike's been...
Mike covers well. He covered well, very well.
He did. Unfortunately, the game chose a very bad camera angle for me. Gave me the reverse front suspension. That's not what I wanted at all. But yeah, he did. Covered it well, and he's sitting in behind Mikey still for the lap 2.
Interestingly, that launch by Mike... if my memory serves me correctly, it was something that Senna brought up and said the pole position should be on the other side of the grid for turn 1 at Suzuka, and never ever did it ever get changed. But I think Mike proved Senna's point there from second on the grid. He got that inside line on turn 1 and really forced, gave BP no option but to yield.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things, isn't it? Some of the tracks you're compromised when you get pole position, which I guess is a debate in itself. Should it be like that if you've got the fastest time?
Yeah, sometimes, should the pole sitter get the choice to which side of the grid he wants to line up on?
Yeah, that's a very interesting point. Something I've never really thought about. But yeah, you're right. Welcome to the race, Zitha. He's asking when we're coming to South Africa. It'll be good to see F1 in South Africa, but I don't know how popular it is over there. Football usually dominates the African countries. I think that's one of the big reasons the sport doesn't succeed as well over there. But look at this. We got 5 cars all lined up one by one, and it's absolutely gloves off racing right now. Lukey's up into 3rd, but he's being pressurized by Epic. And he's going to be up beside him as we come down the front straight into the first turn. And somehow Lukey's managed to keep that inside line. Look at this sweeping shot. It's BP up inside Mike, but Mike once again fighting back valiantly, and he's very aggressive with the defending, and he's not going to give that one up easy. And while that's all happening, that's given Epic, Hawks and Kiwi, I believe, the opportunity to catch these front runners up. So I think BP might be being held up. Look at this.
Oh, look at this.
Too wide into the S's. Oh, Lukey's done well to hold it. Epic's giving him the room. Hawks,
look at this, look at this.
Hawks is there. Running wide as well. Flicking up the dirt into the Degners. They're going to be side by side into the Degners. Unbelievable. Epic's done it. I don't know how he did that.
Very opportunistic move there by Hawks, and he almost got away with it.
Oh, that was unbelievable. Have a look at the quick instant replay on your screen as they were running up towards the Degners. You could see Hawks and Epic were sharing almost the same part of road. Hawks just had the front there. He kept it, but Epic just edged him out before Degner 2. It was a great little overtake. Great little exchange. And we love to see these battles on track. There's still more happening.
Hawks has finally got him. He's got him.
And I think...
out of spoon. Bots, looks like out of spoon, yeah.
Yeah, Bots out of spoon was sent wide and on a big holiday out there. He didn't want to be there in the grass. He was lucky not to see the car doing a 360. So he hit through 130R. It's Uncle and Kiwi here. Does he fancy a move? Not quite yet into the triangle, but we're going to end lap 3, and that was lap 3. It was heating up from here, and we've only got more of these laps to go.
And we've missed. BP has taken Mike. He has taken Mike's. Must have been at the chicane. Even I missed it.
Yeah, it's what happens sometimes. So much stuff goes on, you just can't keep an eye on everything.
And Epic's taken Hawks back.
He did.
Epic has taken Hawks back in the DRS zone, it seems.
Yeah, so Epic now got the lead on Hawks. Lukey's still holding off third. And with BP being released in front of Mike, you can see he's now building that interval to 6/10. So BP has the pace. It looks like Mike was holding him up there early on. So I don't know if that's going to compromise BP's strategy for this one. It very well could. We'll have to wait and see how much it does hold him up, though.
I think he'll get the tyre life. If he gets the tyre life out of the tyre, it won't. He's really breaking away now. He's like 1.2 seconds out of the DRS zone.
Oh, he's done that so quickly as well. It's taken him no time at all to build that gap.
I wonder if Mike was hurting his tyres defending. You know, sliding a little bit and really just cooked his tyres just at that bit, you know. Let's have a look at the gap here with Lukey and Mike and see if Mike can break away from Lukey, or will Lukey get him? Lukey's in that DRS sweet zone now, so let's see how that pans out. Uncle John
has just put on an absolutely phenomenal display of driving as he's beaten both Kiwi and Bots coming up to Spoon. And he's squeezed through, thread the needle, so to speak, and he's got 6th position now, and these two are not separated by a lot. Kiwi is trying to find the best line to defend. Bots looking for room into 130R. It's never going to happen there, but, you know, crazier things have happened. And we're going to finish lap 4, and it's going to be Bots with the DRS on this man. Kiwi as well. He's got DRS on John. He got a great run out of the last turn. And John is going to be under all sorts here. He's not got anything. He's got no reply. Kiwi's just got that DRS and that extreme pace. Oh, they got wide. Absolutely. They were drifting into turn 1.
Was there contact, or did they just both outbrake themselves?
I think they just both outbrake themselves trying to, you know, be the braver one on the brakes there.
The braver one. Exactly, yeah. Wow.
And they did a really good job of holding it up because they still stayed within the track limits almost. They were very lucky.
Uncle John is our wildcard entry for today. It is his debut, and I tell you, he's holding his own very well here.
Bots is around. He was very lucky that there wasn't a big train of cars coming because he just lost it mid-corner.
And Danos has also, as a result of that, come off.
Yeah, we've
into the first Enga, I think. First Enga corner.
That's what happens. You see something happen in front of you and it just puts you off. And that's what what's happened to Denos there. But great racing tonight. It's a shame there's only 10 of them because I'd imagine this would be going up all the way down the field. But daylight savings.
Well, Mikey hasn't been able to pull away from Lukey now. Lukey's well and truly on him, all over him now, and I think Lukey's going to try and make maybe even a move into this chicane out of 130R. He's got a great run on him. Yeah, he's going to make the move here around the outside. Mike's going to make it. They touch.
Contact. Lukey and Mike made contact. Is that going to set Mike off? Is that the trigger moment?
I expected that from Mike, to be honest. He held his line and he just sort of like, you know, there was a bit of touching there, but I think that's just racing, you know, a little bit elbows out, all good. You know, Lukey doesn't have to stress. I think Lukey's got the pace. He's got Mike measured. He just needs to get the pass done a little bit more cleaner and easier, maybe in the DRS zone leading into turn 1.
Yeah, there's some penalties being handed out now as some of the drivers have entered the pit lane. Both Saints and John got one for speeding. Now, while we're on it, eSports, obviously we give out the penalties for speeding the pit lane. The official F1 eSports, I read a leaked, I don't know if it was a leaked email, but they're not going to penalise drivers now for speeding in the pit lane, which I think is odd.
What?
Yeah. I found a picture. It was circulating from one of the eSport drivers, and it had, you know, all the information for the next race, all the drivers that were in it, and it said, please note, we won't be penalising speeding in the pit lane, which I think is absolutely ridiculous for a top tier eSports event.
So that just means you just drive in 300 kilometres an hour into your pit.
Yeah, basically. I mean, I think they used to do it like that. I remember early on when the F1 started, they had you just charged in, and it doesn't look very professional, especially when the game itself can detect speeding. Because they were talking about having issues trying to penalise the right driver, but anyway, it was just a weird one I thought I'd bring up.
Yeah, that is a very weird one. Here's Hawks now making a real hard move on Epic into the braking zone chicane. Epic's held him off.
Yeah, it was all over him at 130.
Yeah, I think he'll be well and truly in the DRS zone as he is in half a second. And there he is. He's already making some kind of Oh no, Epic's coming to the pits. That's it.
So there we go, another speeding penalty for Epic. But yeah, Hawks always does these long runs. He tries to get the overcut. Sometimes it works for him too. Anyway.
It's a bit early here for Epic on that tyre. Well, that's not that it's early. The soft was never going to last longer, but he didn't really make much of it when he was on it. So that strategy is not going to really pan out for Epic, unfortunately.
No, Lukey was right on the exhaust pipes of Mike there through the S's, but Mike seemed to have a little bit more confidence and speed, and he opened that interval up to almost a second. So Lukey struggling through that first sector, which is where a lot of the time can be made for a quick lap. Oh, Hawks! Oh, he sent himself off out of the second Degner.
Oh, wow. Easy place to do it in an F2 car, to be honest. You know, you get a lot of curb on the inside apex and on the outside to really take that fast. And these F2 cars, that would have unsettled him a lot. Not hard to do at all, but Hawks, current F1 leader, to do something like that, yeah, that is a little bit surprising.
Hey, it happens to the best of us. They say form is temporary, class is permanent. And maybe it's a sign of a dip in form for Hawks, even though he's still fifth at the moment. Because he wasn't relatively quick in qualifying either, which is surprising, but you never know. Like I said, don't discount him, but I'd never seen him do a mistake like that for a long time.
Hawks is pretty consistent. He's more of the, get a banker lap in. He's not known for those diabolically fast quali laps.
The aliens.
Yeah, but in race trim, he's so consistent, and that's for him to have that spin. That's really not in his character at all.
No, but race consistency, I think, pays off better in the long run anyway. Because
for sure,
you're better at conserving tyres. You know how to do the fuel if you need to do it. You're good at your ERS management. So if you're good at all those things, you've got a massive advantage early on already. Even if you are half a tenth off here or there, at the end of it, you're probably going to be much more consistent.
Yeah, 100%. And you look at the fastest laps here, BP smashing in a low 44.2, and Lukey, his nearest rival, Lukey, 45.6. So that's light years.
Oh, we're on board with Mike, and he had a bit of a tail-happy exit out of the chicane up towards Spoon, but he's now holding third, so Lukey's up there in front. They're both on the medium tyres, 7 laps old at the moment, so everybody up to 7-lap old mediums. Epic's out there on some new mediums as well, so everyone else right now pretty much on the same sort of grip levels. Let's see how they hold up as we continue on. Most of the field now after the pit stops has been elongated somewhat. The gaps have opened up, but that happens, but expect things to get a lot closer once we come towards the end. And we're not too far away. Lap 9 right now. BP said is the fastest lap, a 1:43.9. That is phenomenal pace. He's going to be definitely one to beat. But at the moment, it is also Denos who has reverse grid pole for race 2 if things stay exactly like they are for the next one.
Pit stops to come, though.
Yeah, there's still a lot. We've got only Epic, Uncle John and Saints have stopped. So.
Yeah, all the soft runners have pitted. So now this is probably now the window's definitely open now for the medium guys to stop for their pit. It's now a matter of how early do you want to pull the trigger. BP is bolted, but Mike can now for instance undercut Luke here, and Hawks can undercut Crazy. There's a lot of potential here, but the trigger needs to get pulled. If you pull it too early.
Oh
the tyres last till the end.
Watched Hawks made a second mistake. Coming up the hill past the up towards Degner 1. He went a little bit wide, so I don't know if he's over-driving tonight or he's just not comfortable at Suzuka, but it's very uncharacteristic to see him make mistakes like that. And he's still holding up to 5th. He was catching up to Kiwi with some pace, but yeah, that mistake's dropped him off now, behind outside DRS.
I think Hawks would be smart to now pit and try and get that undercut.
We'll see what he does at the end of this lap. Mike here, looming on the back of Lukey, up to 130R. Lukey looking comfortable in second. Mike was our race leader there for a few moments, but BP just has the just ultimate pace here tonight. He's a lot quicker than anyone else. He should be up there almost racing F1 eSports style. And Mike's in. So Mike, one of the first front runners. And he got a speeding entry as well. Everyone's getting caught out.
So easy to do. Yeah, the entry is so short at Suzuka.
Hawks, I think he's making it careful here. He might, yeah. Hawks might get a few positions if he stays out of the penalties. This could be very interesting.
Mike's away.
He's coming, apparently. There he is. That took a long time on our screen for whatever reason. Epic's charging through, and they're going to meet at turn 1. And Epic's just shut the door on Mike as he didn't get out quick enough to beat him. And now we've got a race on our hands as Mike needs to warm up his softs really quick right now. Because Epic...
You can see that undercut for Epic actually worked a lot, and there were several laps there going from the soft to the medium. So, you know, BP not really needs to worry, but Lukey now, and I would say Kiwi, they need to pit immediately. Otherwise, if they stay out for one more lap, they will both get undercut by their respective drivers behind them.
Yeah, it's definitely a looming threat for those guys. Lukey's there in second, and he's coming up to 130R. Let's see if he... goes for the pits this one. Kiwi is in third right now. And there's bots. Let's get an update on the stops. And show you who's done what. As you can see...
BP pitting.
So that'll get BP's mandatory pit stop ticked off the list. Soft tyres go on for the front runner. And good stop there from the team.
Lukey in as well.
Not surprising. And Kiwi, let's see what... Is Kiwi doing it? He is.
Yeah, he's coming. They have to cover. It'll be tight. I reckon Mikey, you know, Epic might have slowed him down a little bit. Let's have a look now at Mike and see if he can get past Lukey. He has Epic in front of him.
Yeah, Epic's coming.
He might have slowed him down just enough. He's coming down. Where's Luke?
Epic moved forward.
Lukey's
I think
there.
there's Lukey. He's going to just get in front of Mike. This is going to be really tight. Oh, he's done it.
Sweeps around. He's gone very wide.
Around the outside. Lukey held it tight on the inside. And he's...
No, Lukey. The next one will be Hawks on Crazy. Hawks has got crazy.
Yes, he does. And Uncle John actually got crazy as well. So Crazy, the big loser out of that stop.
Maybe Crazy had some damage and needed a nose cone replacement or something. We just missed it.
Might have. Yeah, but there you go at the moment. Everyone's stopped. And BP leads Epic, Lukey, and Mike. This is where the battle's happening. They're raging side by side up to into the Degners. Degner 1, Degner 2 now navigated. Lukey there in third in the final podium position. And Mike, he wants that back. He's been beaten out of the pit stops and he's not happy with that one. Lukey was really lucky.
Yeah, Michael Lukey. Epic's actually made that strategy sort of work at this stage. I just wonder if his tyres will be good enough to hold Lukey and Mike off. Now, Mike is all over the back of Lukey, so this could work in Epic's favour and slow those two guys down. They've got technically 4 laps to really haul Epic in. They are on the significantly faster tyre. This will be interesting.
It will. And Swatter has wished you happy birthday as well.
Cheers, my brother.
He's, send his messages over the chat there. Looks like Oz has joined us. Says, "G'day, boys," from the Singapore airport.
I can't believe he doesn't have jet lag. How are you, Oz?
Yeah, what do you think of the race tonight, Oz? Is he... Oz, you can hear us. Do you think he'll be racing tomorrow night in the Formula 1?
Well, the rumour is that he's got significant jet lag. He actually premeditated it.
He premeditated it, right?
Yeah, so he actually, before he even flew out, he said he'll have jet lag. So he was already, I don't know, doing a Nostradamus or just anticipating what will happen.
Well, we'll find out tomorrow night. Join us for that one as well if you're interested. 9 p.m. race start. That's the GMT plus 10 time zone you guys are used to. But that's 10 p.m. in the eastern states with daylight savings. Now has tricked us up. Oh,
Johnny's gone wide.
Yeah, Johnny, he went wide at Degner 1, and that gave Kiwi the run through he's been looking for. He's really been searching for it. And John,
a lot of pressure. Kiwi had him under a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
In that
opposite lock, he had a lot of rear spin, oversteer through the chicane, and Bots now closing the gap on him. So yeah, Uncle John, it's really getting to him now. The high pressure situation as we come to the closing stages of this race, like 12 or 15. Everyone's in the pit stops and done. So remember, reverse grid from 8th back for race 2.
Uncle John on 6-lap old mediums, where Kiwi was on 1-lap old softs, and that's really the difference now. That's, you know, the medium guys now that are on the medium, they can't push at all. 2 laps to go, they just have to stay consistent. But I am amazed that Epic's been holding that interval on Lukey.
Yeah, it stayed around 2 seconds. John's gone back past Kiwi.
Back around.
Yeah.
Wow.
He's just got the pace down out of the triangle up to the front straight. Up to turn 1 we go right now. Let's have a look how Uncle John holds this one. And he's got the pace through here. Has he got the technical section right? Because Kiwi's right there. Bots is right there too. So a mistake from either of these guys, and there's drivers around ready to pounce and take advantage of it. But it's still John from Kiwi from Bots through the S's, and I think Kiwi's a little bit slower than Bots. Bots seems to be closing him in. Interval jumping under 3/10 as we come around up to the Degner 1. 2/10, 1/10. Oh, he sort of had a go.
That's not a place to make a move, Degner 1. No way.
Yeah, it's a good thing Bots backed out of that one. Kiwi now right on the exhaust fumes of John.
A good exit here. This is what's really you need. You need a good exit out of the hairpin.
Yeah, and I think
little wiggle there from Uncle John.
Yeah, I think Kiwi's got this one nailed. Up to Spoon. He could maybe orchestrate a move before the entrance. He needs to be a little bit closer. He's not there yet. Maybe the slipstream up to 130R will do some wonders for him here.
I think here he can get him. He's really close. He's right up on that diffuser, actually.
There's not a lot in it. 2/10. The gap up to 130R. Kiwi sticking in behind the slipstream that John is creating for him. He had to lift.
Holding a good line, my word. Oh, he sends it. He sends it.
He made the corner, but that will be an illegal overtake. And
that'll be a big, yeah, he's going to lose. He's going to get the pen, and he's going to lose the position of Bots.
And Bots now with the run. Look at this.
Oh, and that's how you do it. That's how you do it.
Absolutely nothing in it, and Bots gets the move.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, John beaten there with just... Bots had the extreme pace over Uncle John. It was absolutely
cool,
nothing.
Calm, and collective.
That's it, the 3 C's.
He just watched all that commotion happen in front of me and says, look, I'll just do it. I'll wait till the straight, get the DRS open, and thanks for coming.
Yeah, these midfield battles here are proving to be quite entertaining tonight. While that's all been going on, we're almost near the end. Mikey still stuck behind Lukey, and Epic has managed to grow the interval.
Well, no, Lukey's
oh, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong one.
He's caught Epic by about a second, but he's still out of that zone. He's with less than a lap and a half to go.
I mean, anything is possible.
He's coming into that second zone. Will it be enough to get the DRS into this? He's going to have one real DRS crack on this next lap. Here he is, Lukey, the detection zone. got it. He's got in the detection zone.
He's not far off.
Mike won't get the DRS.
Yes, he did. Lukey got it.
Lukey got it. Here we go. He's too far back, unfortunately.
Yeah, the gap opened up to over a second before the detection zone. Is that rain falling here on the last lap?
It is on the last lap.
Ah, if it just needs to be, it just needs to start pouring down. There could be a late drama.
Well, that's the thing. They reckon in Japan that when it rains, it buckets.
Yeah, it could be the beginning of the end for some. Luckily, BP's almost more than halfway through the track, so I don't think the wet track's going to bother him if it gets there. But if it starts absolutely bucketing down,
if it starts to get wet here, it's going to favour Lukey. He's got the softer tyre. He'll have more tyre temp in that. And as I say that, he gets a bit fishy out of there. Adenga too, going into the hairpin now. He's lost a little bit of ground with that drive out of there. Epic, for now, looks like he's got this sort of covered. But I don't think the rain's falling heavily enough here to sort of ruin Epic's day on that behalf.
No, I think if it came a lap early, it would have become a problem. Right.
Definitely could have become a more of a factor here, but Lukey's now really closing up to him in the spoon corners.
He's getting really close. He's getting really
drive
close.
Here. He's gone a little bit wide. I could tell he's lifted a little bit off throttle. As you can see by his time there, it's just lost a little bit of an edge on Epic.
Yeah, the gap just outside 6/10 into 130R. This is his last chance.
Oh, he's gone super wide.
BP's taking the checkered flag. Congratulations for the first win. Into the triangle, Epic goes, and Lukey's still trailing. And it's going to be...
Epic's had to cut that corner a little bit on the... He didn't get a penalty for it. No, he did. He got a 5-second penalty.
Oh, that moves Lukey up. That moves Lukey up.
That was the one that hurt him.
Mikey will get 4th as he crosses the line. Hawk's coming around for 5th. And he'll want to improve for race 2, but he will get reverse grid. He might not even change position being 5th. 7th will be Uncle John. A great first race for him. Wildcard
great
tonight.
Debut.
And Crazy Kiwi will get reverse grid pole for race 2 coming up. I'm going to leave it with you, Zan. I need to find a charging cable for my headset. I'm about to lose sound.
Not a problem, my friend. Well, that was pretty intense there near the end. Some strategies coming into play. Epic surprised me a bit. I didn't think that he made enough of a gain on that soft tyre in his first stint, but he made it work on the medium. He must have really punched in some really good laps once he pitted and made that work. But he was always going to be under threat from Lukey. He managed to hold it off, but fortunately, crossing that chicane there, the infamous chicane, he ended up getting another 5-second penalty, and that's really thrown him in behind Lukey there by 1 second.
It was a great race, and we've got race 2 coming up, so don't go anywhere. This is going to be really interesting stuff. Reverse grid pole for Kiwi. It'll be John sharing the front row. Bots and Hawks 2nd, Mike, Epic, and Lukey. And BP will start 8th for race 2.
And this is the thing. This is my argument for the reverse grid. We know BP is the fastest guy here by a country mile. He will plough through that field, and when I say plough, I don't mean that he's going to punt people off, but he will be making some wicked moves. The race might not be long enough for him to win it unless there's some real carnage up ahead of him, but he will be good for a podium from that 8th place at the very least, and it'll provide great racing action for us all.
It will, and I'm getting word that rain should be expected for the sprint.
Rain for the sprint. Well, that's going to make it even more interesting.
Oh, it's going to absolutely...
That's literally just throwing the cat amongst the pigeons.
I can't wait to see what happens, actually. This is turning into be quite an exciting night of Formula 2 racing.
Yeah, with only 10 cars, but the boys are really making the most of it out there.
Yep. I mean, you don't always need a full grid for a good race, and I think that's been proven tonight. BP, they're getting the top points. Lukey squeezing into 2nd as Epic had a penalty which hurt him at the end. But things could change here for the sprint race.
Now it's just going to be, tyre tyre management actually, because they're all going to go on the soft. It's obviously the faster tyres, but the laps, even though it's not that many laps, it's still significant laps where if you do bolt on that soft tyre, it could hurt you at the end. Now, if the rain comes,
it's raining.
it is raining. Well, now it's going to be interesting what they'll do. Will they go? They don't have an inter. They go straight to the wet, don't they?
Yes, they do.
If it's not raining enough, that wet won't last.
Yeah, we've seen that before. Baku, I believe. A lot of the drivers, which it caught me and Yayo out, but a lot of the drivers had to change their wets halfway through the race.
Yeah, when there's not enough, when it's that intermediate, what the F1 boys would run the intermediate, the wet really overheats, and it's more prominent on the 2019 game than it was on the 2018 game. Significantly more prominent, actually.
Not like safety cars. There could be one in this race, though, if it stays this wet. Formation lap underway, so they get a lap of acclimatizing a little bit.
Yeah, this is it. I mean, I wonder how many of them actually have done any wet running in the F2s. I know some of them did a wet run in the F1s for tomorrow's race.
Pete Mitchell, thank you for liking the stream, my friend, and welcome along to the race. You've caught us just in time for race 2, a wet one here at Suzuka. 11 laps, no mandatory pit stops, but like Zen said, that wet tyre might need to be changed before the end of this one. It might not last.
It just depends how quickly a dry groove starts to appear.
Yeah, because it's not raining. It's not that heavy at the moment, but you never know. It could start bucketing down. Like we said, it is Japan, Suzuka.
Have an in-car view to get a gauge of. See if we can get an indication on the camera lens.
So, I'd give it a C state 2.
There you go.
Not very choppy at all. Not that wet. It doesn't look like there's any standing water.
It'd be interesting here if they try to survive on the tyre, or do they actually pit and put another wet on. For the F2s, I would estimate, it'd be a good 28 seconds, if not 30 plus seconds for a pit stop.
Yeah, it could take them a long time.
And only 11 laps, it doesn't leave much there to gain on the better tyre necessarily.
No, and with no intermediate at play, it really makes things difficult as well, because you've got to take that gamble at a certain point. Is it dry enough for the dryer, or is it too wet still to risk it? And that's something the drivers are going to have to figure out for themselves. And knowing a lot of them, they probably, like you said, they probably didn't do a lot of wet running prior to this.
No, and Crazy's been taking them around relatively slowly, so no one's been able to really gauge how much grip there actually is out there.
I wonder if that's a sneaky tactic from him.
He's sly, but I don't know if he's that sly.
Oh, someone just went off. That was Watts.
He really came in pretty hard there, but I think, as I was saying, Kiwi slowed the field right down there, and not sure where the AI takes control of the field here. Is it just after the chicane?
Must be. Yeah, there they go. AI now in control. So they're going to be held on the grid slots for a little bit longer now. A slow formation lap from Kiwi, and he'll leave.
Uncle John might get a big advantage here on the inside lane here in the wet. There's no dry line.
Keep an eye on him. Here we go, waiting for the lights here at Suzuka. Engines revving high. It is 5 lights. Lights out, and it's racing here for race 2 at Suzuka. Kiwi got a really good start. I think John got bogged down, and he's going to be swamped by the pack behind him. They're a hungry bunch up into turn 1. Uncle John, though, manages to keep it. Hawk side by side into the first turn. Everybody seemingly getting through unscathed. So good racecraft there from everybody. We didn't have an incident yet, but I'm going to shut up. I am the commentator. I'll curse them all as we come through the S's now. Kiwi leads from Uncle John, and then Hawks and Bots. So no big changes at the start. The Kiwi did get a good start, and Uncle John being bogged down, he wasn't able to take advantage of the better position on grid. But anyway, the wet track here has really mixed things up for them as we race towards the first Degner. Hawks is out wide. He was very lucky. He almost sent the back end of that thing spinning. Inside Bots. He tried it absolutely. That was a speculative move, I'd say. It didn't really work for him there. Lukey and Mike right now. Mike's just squeezed in front of Lukey and BP, managing to defend them into the chicane. But yeah, Bots, that was speculative. Just
he couldn't have meant that intentionally. I think he just got caught out in the wet, offline as well, and just outbraked himself completely with nowhere to go. And like Hawks wasn't even, considering giving him room then, because he never thought the move was on.
No, he definitely wasn't. Just saw Mike and Lukey run wide at Spoon. They were very lucky not to spin on that AstroTurf, which sits on the outside of that curb, which is very dangerous even in the dry. It's one of my most feared places to run wide. Even though it's all tarmac there, usually end up going wrong. I think Kiwi missed the chicane at the triangle because he's had to cut across it, and he's gotten quite a big advantage out of that. Uncle John and Hawks, though. Hawks in the slipstream of Uncle John, who's holding second from him. He's going to look to the inside of turn 1, and he thinks better of it before entering. He'll grind away and maybe have another move later on. Around the outside, long way, not going to work. Epic doing the same defensive move on BP as well. So BP's catching him up, and this is great. Lap 2 of 11. It's very unpredictable at the moment. And Kiwi at the moment leading this race from John and then Hawks. But there's a lot of little duels happening on track. And it looks like maybe the weather is sort of starting to die down a little.
Yeah, I see some blue between the grey. So I don't think it's going to rain intense, that these tyres are going to last. It could even dry out. So this is throws another spanner in the works, if you do pit, do you go on the slick?
Yeah, that's the thing. It's all about being on the right tyre at the right moment. Hawks really caught up to John through that chicane. John struggled to get traction on the exit, and Hawks up the inside almost made the overtake stick, but somehow he didn't quite have the traction himself, and John still holds the lead in front of him. Epic catching.
John's gone wide a little bit in the Spoon.
Mike, we're just following Mike. He went wide last lap as well. Lukey's following in him. Bots goes wide. Bots is having a terrible race too here. He kept it straight though. Denos, he's right on the gearbox of Denos here. They're bumper to bumper up towards 130R. He's going to be up on the inside. Is he going to think better of it? Denos is defending it. Bots says, I'm not going to have any of this. He's going to share 130R with him. Just couldn't get the move done. They kept it clean just about. Who's later on the brakes? Oh, Denos. Is he going to go wide? I thought he was going sideways through the last chicane. He's just kept it pointing straight and narrow. He's got a little bit of a bump from Bots. Bots must have got a good run out of that last turn, because I think he unintentionally bumped Denos there. Up towards turn 1, and Bots, I think, made the move stick. And that'll be 8th position for him. His next target's Lukey. He's going to have to keep an eye on Denos in behind.
Hard battling there for the last points paying position in the sprint race.
Yeah, all these points right now are all very important. Lukey's right on the gearbox on Mike as well. So these two, there's duels happening everywhere. BP, same sort of thing with him and Uncle John. So Uncle John's fallen off after all that. He's down to 4th. So I didn't see what happened to Uncle John there.
I am seeing a line starting to appear, and I think that John, maybe his tyres have just started to feel the initial pinch.
Kiwi, he's got a lot of cars now filling his rear vision mirrors. Hawks and Epic aren't too far away, and Kiwi's going to be feeling the pump here. It's crunch time for him at the moment. Up into Spoon. Needs to keep it clean. Running wide. Hawks goes wide. It's easy to do that. It's very easy to cock it up and spin around there as well.
BP on Uncle John here.
Ooh, Hawks has just taken the lead from Kiwi.
Oh.
He's done it under the slipstream, and Hawks leads it on lap 3 into 130R. We've got a few cars running wide. That's John and BP as they tussle for these positions. Oh, this is great racing, and they have now caught up the front pack. So
has Kiwi got past Hawks? He has. Oh, epic! Into the wall. That looked like contact with Hawks, who had to take some kind of, alternate line there because Kiwi had him from the outside.
Let's have a look at the replay on screen. Let's have a good look. I was sort of caught out by Epic spinning there. As we come through, you can see the pack catching up.
And Kiwi's had a big moment.
Kiwi had a big moment. Oh, he did too. Back to the live action. You can see Kiwi's off. And he's now falling down the order. That's not what he wanted. He was in such a good position, leading the race as well. Oh, he's going to kill it. He's going to kick himself for that, I think. Hawks
down to last place, from first to last in one sector.
Yeah, it's all it takes, isn't it? BP's now up into the podium positions. And he could get a double. He might go for the double win here today. Lap 4 of 11. We've still got time. And this wet weather is definitely helping him complete that task. John runs up a little bit wide.
Very wide.
And
he was down in the it looks like someone was way out in the sticks.
Whoa, John! Up beside BP. Hawks has dropped. That was Hawks.
Look, that was Hawks out for a super wide.
So Hawks is leading. John is now leading. He was he made a little bit of contact with BP up towards Spoon, and he now leads the race. So yeah, Hawks. I didn't see what happened to Hawks. You caught something in the...
I saw a car out in the weeds on the hairpin, and it was Hawks. I quickly saw it as a red car, red and white. I don't know how he ended up. He must have outbraked himself big time, but wow, that's just changed everything. BP now, ooh, he's had to cut that corner. He's yielded that position back.
Yeah, so BP leads, and BP's going to be hard to catch up now because he's...
Oh, he's going to go now. He's going to bolt. But Uncle John's doing great stuff out there on debut, dude. Oh, my word.
Absolutely. Can't wait to see more of what he can bring to the table.
BP's got wide.
He has. He's compromised that lead. And Hawks is there back on scene too. So it's a three-way battle once again for the lead.
Epic's gone to the pits. He's obviously had damage from that excursion.
Yeah, he did. We could see on screen he had, I think, front wing damage. End plates were missing. So that's going to compromise the rest of his race now. Pete Mitchell says, very cool, guys. Thank you very much, dude. We have the same sort of thing going on tomorrow night with the F1s. Half race distance at Suzuka. So hopefully you can join us for that as well. But tonight it is the Formula 2s we're keeping a close eye on from the Friday Night League, and John gets the back end way out there, drifting through, but BP hasn't been able to capitalise on the mistake just yet. This is where John's a little bit weaker. He doesn't get
the drive, yeah.
Hawks did the same thing as him there. Oh, Hawks is struggling with grip as well, but BP and John were sharing the same bit of tarmac, and John went a little wide. BP sort of cut back into the other side of the track to give him a bit of room in case something happened. And he's got the move on him up to Spoon. That was a great move from BP. He just needs to stay mistake-free now. He should be able to release himself and create a bit of a gap.
Let's see what happens. Last time they went in here 2 by 2, they went real wide.
They did. BP's not doing a lot of swerving left to right at the moment. You can see the drying line appearing. Oh, John on the brakes. That was beautiful.
Did he make the corner? Yes, he has.
He did. He made it. He made it wonderfully. That was perfect stuff. Gave all the racing room in the world. He made the corner as well. And now BP's under the pump from Hawks in behind. So it could be 2 positions lost.
Uncle John from nowhere.
Oh, he licked the stamp and he sent it. Ricardo would be proud. Hawks up the inside, up to turn 2. Doesn't gain anything from it though. You sort of got to take turn 1 and 2 as if it's one corner. I think.
Yes, most definitely. And I think really turn 1, at least up until the apex, isn't a turn.
Yeah, that's true. It's one of those corners that it looks simple, but it takes a lot of practice.
It takes
to master.
commitment. I think turn 1, you have to convince yourself the car will stick.
Yes, I think having faith in that is probably the biggest thing. Oh,
Biggest
BP.
thing.
Oh, Hawks followed BP out wide out of the Degner there, and he just picked up a bit of gravel. They were very lucky not to get bogged then. The rain seems to have picked up somewhat as we're halfway through this one.
Oh! Big hit there. That's damaged to BP's front wing. Definitely damaged BP's front wing.
So did
End plate missing.
Did BP run into the back of John? Because we were just following Hawks.
In the hairpin.
Right, and then Hawks had to slam his anchors on because he came up the rear end of BP. I don't think he lost any end plates there.
No, he looks good. But BP definitely got damage on the outside right. Well, outside on Suzuka. There is no outside. On the front right end plate.
Front right. Yeah, there it is. It's missing. You can just see it quickly. So, yeah, that's going to compromise his aero here. And he's going to need it all in the wet. He's going to need everything he can get.
That's going to really, Uncle John's got this one in the bag if he keeps it clean now for 5 laps.
Yeah,
It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that now, because Hawks will get BP at some stage here. BP's pitting. He has to pit. He knows he can't stay out there with that damage.
Yeah. Let's see how far he falls down the order. Mike is yet to come past the start finish. There he is. Bots comes through as well. BP on his marks right now. And
wet tyres going on. So it's still too wet for slicks. The line is there, but it's definitely not dry enough for slicks. So it's like eternity in for the F2 boys, isn't it, in the pit lane?
Yeah, such a small pit crew, but it's I don't know. I think it should be brought back into F1 like that. I don't know. The pit times are so quick these days.
Yeah, it's just a blur, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like 2 seconds, 1.8 seconds. Like, how did you do that? And then they're off. And that's why it's always so crazy when they're in there for 3 or 4 seconds. You're like, oh, that was so slow.
Slow.
It's unbelievable. Kiwi here, pressurising Denoz for 7th and 8th. So the last points paying positions on track at the moment. And Denoz just staying in front of him there. Kiwi not able to make any leeway or any gaps at the moment.
Hawks is now really challenging Uncle John. I think Uncle John can win this if he just keeps it clean and doesn't allow Hawks.
Oh, sorry, Kiwi up the inside at the chicane. Denoz beaten. Kiwi with the traction. He needs it out of here. He does. He got the position and secured it. 7th for Kiwi. That was a good move. Clean as well. Oh, he's going to run wide. No. Ooh. He was quickly coming to the edge of the track there, and I didn't know if he was going to rotate the car. He's done it, and he's released. So Mike's fallen back behind Bots here as they go through 130R. 3rd and 4th. Oh, he's touched under brakes.
Something's flown off.
Yeah, we saw it. I think that was something on Mike's front wing.
Yep.
Oh, Bots has been spun. I don't know if that was intentional. He did that on the formation lap.
Was it a touch? It looked like you normally don't spin in that direction unless you were touched.
Let's have a look at the replay on your screen. It was Bots on the outside, Mike up behind, and they touched. You see the carbon fiber go spraying into the triangle now. Let's have a look. Oh, I'm not sure he was touched. That wasn't the greatest of video angles to see, but I think there might have been just a bit of room between Mike and Bots' front wing there, unless it was his wing.
It's just a strange angle to go off.
It is. He's missing side pod cover there as well. So Bots has been in the walls that lap. I think that's a side pod cover missing, unless it's just how it's designed and I've never noticed it. Anyway, drama here towards the end of this one. The Formula 2. Lukey now keeping Bots at bay for 4th and 5th. 5/10 between them. Bots. He did a move here early on. Up the inside. He wasn't able to stick it this time round. He needs to be a little bit closer to Lukey, I think, to make that one work. And the rain is still falling here at Suzuka. The drying line, though, is appearing. So we're not sure what the tyre temps are looking like for these guys right now. But maybe... Oh, I thought Bots. Once again, the back end goes out. He's caught it. And now he's chasing Lukey up towards 130R. It's going to be a very interesting end to this one. And one of the questions I have is whether or not the tyres are going to last. Well, Saints got a move on Kiwi there. Just before the 130R turn in. And Saints is now up to 6th position.
Oh, Kiwi's gone wide.
He did. He hit the braking marker zone board there, whatever you want to call it. He's cut the corner again. He shouldn't get a penalty for it. And Denos, he's not far off. Denos might be able to sneak another position here if Kiwi's under all sorts. There's BP down in 9th position. Very unlikely.
Bots is going to try something in the S's.
He did it. Did he cut the corner though?
Did he cut the corner? He went. He took a lot of curb. He made it work, but
hey, the game seems to have been happy with it.
BP Dutch just done the fastest lap on a fresh set of wet tyres.
Yeah, he's a bit too far off though, and there's not a lot of laps remaining for him to make any use of it at the moment.
He did a 152. We'll stick with Uncle John as he crosses the line and see what lap time the leaders are doing.
Mike's got 3rd at the moment. He'll be happy with that podium if he can keep it. Hawks is 8/10 behind John right now. And this is where the battle's raging on. John goes wide in Spoon. Hawks sort of drifts it sideways into it as well. So they seem to be dancing with grip right now. Don't know if there's a lot of it out there to be had. 8-lap-old wets up right now. And we're just wondering whether or not the track is wet enough for those things to last. We're going to see. I'm sure Hawks will probably run it to the end. He always tries those sort of crazy strategies.
Yeah, he does. He does.
And sometimes he makes them work as well. So they go past the pit entrance. And it's Uncle John and Hawks right now. Slipstream for Hawks. God, he'd be chomping at the bit for DRS.
They're in the high 1 minute 58, and BP was in the low 52s. So we're talking 6 seconds a lap on fresher tyres. There's your delta.
That's amazing. That's a lot of time. It's just a shame there's only one lap to go.
Yeah, and that was always going to be the problem, wasn't it? There wasn't enough laps to make it effective.
Yeah, we're on the penultimate lap here. I think Denos has found a way past Kiwi. He has. I don't know if Kiwi's been in sort of trouble there because Denos seems to have just cleared him by a mile.
Yeah.
So BP might be able to score a point before the end of it. BP's...
Oh, John's made a mistake at the Dengers, and Hawks has snuck up on the inside.
He did. We just got the end of it. And Hawks now leads. Penultimate lap. We got 1 to go. And I think
they've both gone wide.
Oh my God.
Wide.
John's followed him in. Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
Hawks does not make those mistakes.
And yet he's done it twice on that hairpin this race.
I know. Suzuka must be one of those tracks he's just not very accustomed to, you know? You know those tracks you just hate?
Yeah, there are those tracks that some people... And you know, Suzuka is that type of track. You either love it or you hate it.
Yeah. I personally don't mind it. But yeah, it is a difficult one to master. Alston Kurt, sorry. Thank you for liking the stream, buddy. And thank you to everyone else who's done that tonight as well. And thanks for joining in. The Formula 2's here. We've
Hawks wide again in 130R. He's really putting it all out there.
He's going to be overdriving this last lap, I'd say. Now, BP has really caught the back end of Kiwi here. So BP, I think, might be able to steal a point into the last lap. He's just that much quicker. Kiwi just trotting along out of Spoon. Oh, he had some trouble on the exit. And BP's really caught him up here. BP might even be able to steal 7th. Daniels isn't too far ahead as well. BP's that quick.
Oh, this is just like stealing candy from a baby now.
Here we go. BP. He sees the opportunity. He needs to make it clean, though. Couldn't get it work there. Kiwi defending with everything he's got at the moment, trying to make that.
He gets it. The corner there, BP, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's trying his hardest right now. The Kiwi making the Delara chassis wider than stock, and BP's having trouble. He's sticking in the slipstream. He's following crazy left to right here into the first and second turns. Commitment from both of them. And BP follows. It's not going to be long, I don't think, before an overtake's happen here, but Kiwi's going to hold on to it with everything he's got. He knows it's the last points paying spot. And he's going
to really make a move here until you get to the hairpin. But that's not going to stop BP from trying. Good Lord.
Oh, jeez. He squeezed that one in.
You don't want to get hung out here on the outside. No, that's not the place to be.
No, he didn't. He should have thought ahead a little bit there. He was trying to fit a square peg in a round hole then. That was it was brave stuff.
He needed to make the move here going into this hairpin now, and he still can actually. He's caught him up so much.
Yeah.
He's a little bit too far back now. He's a little bit too far back.
Will he go for it, though? Will he lick the stamp? Not yet. Not yet. He's so close, though, to the back of Kiwi. He's right on that gearbox. But Kiwi's not making this easy. It is the final point. And you can see Denos is in frame as well. So if BP was able to release himself a lap sooner, he might have been able to steal 7th. And Uncle John's taking the win. Hawks has been given it for a penalty, I'd imagine. Mike's coming through the triangle now. He'll take 3rd. It's Lukey and Bots fighting. Lukey on the brakes before Bots. Lukey just needs to keep it clean out of here. Bots almost sends it spinning. He slows down to catch the car.
Oh, big. They've touched on the straight before the car.
Huge accident. Huge accident. BP's been left stranded. He's got absolutely nothing on the front of the car. And, yeah, BP's huge moment there.
Oh, BP would be fuming.
Kiwi might. He's going to fight. Oh, Kiwi's going to lose that last point as Epic gets him on the last turn.
On the last turn.
Kiwi spun himself. Kiwi's out.
Kiwi's out.
Kiwi is out of this one. BP will come around and he'll take 9th. Wow, what an end to the race. Absolutely phenomenal.
Chaos in the last closing stages of that race.
Oh, chaos at Suzuka.
Unbelievable there. Kiwi tried to squeeze. I think BP had a run on him on the outside, hitting into the 130R. I think Kiwi didn't give him enough room.
No, we'll have to go and have a look at the footage later on. Have a look, but yeah, I think there's going to be an inquiry into that one.
BP can definitely, if he chooses to, protest that, but he's only sort of fighting really for that 1 point, and he sort of doesn't need it.
No, but you know what drivers are like. They will try squeeze each and every advantage they can get out of something. So.
But there you go. See, easy come, easy go. Lost the potential 15 points there, BP. And just that little mistake there, coming behind Uncle John in the middle of that race there in the hairpin.
Yeah, it was gloves off there last lap. Unbelievable action from flag to flag there. We had 2 great races. And there's your overall results. Hawks winning the weekend, I believe. Uncle John there in 2nd, Mike 3rd. So it was a good race here at Suzuka. The wet really brought out the action in race 2 for the sprint race. And do we have Silverstone coming up next on the...
Yeah, Silverstone will be the next round for the F2 cars, yep.
Yeah, and that won't be streamed, but then we'll have Monaco and the last race of the season streamed after that. So rounds 11 and 12, back to back. But we do have the F1 tomorrow night. So if you're into that, come check it out. Same track, we're at Suzuka, half race distance. And we should have almost a full grid, I think.
Yeah, we're looking. We're hopefully looking pretty good for the F1s tomorrow night, and it's going to be a long and hard race. And with the weather set to dynamic, expect the unexpected.
Definitely. Definitely, definitely. Well, thanks for joining me tonight, Zen. It's been a lot of fun, and
My pleasure.
can't wait to see what happens tomorrow.
Indeed.
All right. Well, that will end the broadcast tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for tuning in. That was the FNL1 eSports Formula 2 Championship from Suzuka. We will have the F1 tomorrow night at 9 p.m. GMT plus 10 is the time zone, or 10 p.m. for your eastern states in New South Wales, Victoria, and Australia. For the rest of you, time zone converter is a good one. But 9 p.m. GMT plus 10, convert it to your local time from there. And thanks again for everyone who's liked, shared, or even subscribed as well tonight. If you haven't, don't forget to do so you don't miss a race. Plenty of action here on the channel. I've been your commentator, Josh Gain, and I've been met with Zen. And we'll say good night and enjoy your Friday. Good night.
Good night.